Philadelphia News, team of my heart.
You're watching the Sixers hold the number 3 pick. But will they even keep it? Sixers news is heating up with trade offers flooding Daryl Morey's phone. What you're about to hear could shape the next decade of Sixers basketball. Trade talks, pressure, and power plays. Let's go. You already know how this goes. You've been here before. Big stage, bright lights, and somehow the Sixers are right in the thick of it again. But this time, it's not about surviving another playoff exit. It's about deciding who you are going to be as a franchise. The 3rd overall pick is staring Daryl Morey in the face like a spotlight. And if you're honest, you're wondering the same thing everybody else is. Will he actually make the pick or flip it? Let me put it this way. That pick isn't just a number. That pick is leverage. It's temptation, it's risk, and it's power. And if you're a Sixers fan, you've felt this tension before. The hope of landing the next star. The fear of watching another franchise-altering decision go the wrong way. You want answers. You want control. But right now, you're on the edge because Daryl Morey is holding the fuse and the whole thing's ready to blow. The trade offers, they're coming in heavy. And I mean heavy. League execs know Morey isn't sentimental. He's strategic. He's cold when he needs to be. And when you hold a top 3 pick in a draft filled with unknown ceilings and high stakes upside, every GM from here to Golden State wants a seat at the table. That means packages, players, picks, promises are hitting the Sixers front office at full speed. But here's the kicker. You can't just make a move because it looks good on paper. You already saw how that played out with past mistakes. Think back. You remember the names. You remember the hype. But what did it get you? And now, here's Morey, trying to decide whether to commit to a new foundation or cash in that ticket for something else entirely. That's not just a front office decision. That's your future they're shaping. Now ask yourself, do you trust Morey to pull the trigger? Because let's be honest, you've seen his fingerprints on trades that left you hyped and trades that left you holding your head in your hands. He's got the guts. But this one carries the weight of the franchise. He can't miss. You can't afford for him to miss. Not with Embiid aging. Not with Maxey rising. Not when your window feels like it's inching shut by the season. And that brings us to the real pain. You've waited years for direction. Real direction. Not band-aids. Not quick fixes. Not half-baked rotations. You want a core. You want purpose. And this pick, this trade, this decision, it's a rare shot to actually build something sustainable. Something dangerous. Something that puts fear back in the East. You feel that. And you should. So let's talk about the options. The offers coming in. Some are juicy. Veteran talent. Deep bench additions. Future firsts. But every trade has a catch, right? Give up the pick. And maybe you solve 2 problems today but pass on a superstar tomorrow. Keep the pick, and you might strike gold. Or flame out. Again. That's the gamble. And Morey's not a man who blinks. But this isn't just about assets. It's about identity. Who are you as a franchise? Are you still chasing the perfect puzzle piece to fit around Embiid and Maxey? Or are you ready to press reset on the fly and start reshaping the team with youth and movement? That's the real battle between what you know and what might be. Between safety and swing dash for dash the dash fences dot. And while all this is happening behind the scenes, the clock is ticking. Pressure's mounting. And you're refreshing Sixers news by the minute because you need to know what's going down. Every second that passes without clarity feels like another year of waiting. Another what if. And that frustration, that's what makes this moment so raw, so real. You're not just a fan. You're invested. You've lived through this roller coaster, the rebuild, the heartbreak, the near misses. And now you're being asked to trust again, to believe again. That Morey's plan, this plan is the one that finally flips the script. That finally makes the Sixers the ones doing the chasing, instead of the ones being chased. You've got questions, And you deserve answers. Is the third pick staying? Are the Sixers finally going all in on youth? Or is this just another stopgap in a long line of pivots? You've earned the right to expect more, to expect a championship. And that's why this trade talk matters. That's why Sixers news is your daily scroll. Because deep down, you know this trade could change everything. But you tell me, what would you do if you were Morey? Would you trade down to load up on depth and pieces? Or would you swing big with the third pick and hope you found the next Maxey? Or something even better? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to hear from you. All right. So you're still with me. Good. That tells me one thing. You care. You're not just passing time. You're tuned in because you feel this. And how could you not? You know exactly what this pick means to the future of the Sixers. This isn't just a headline. It's a defining fork in the road. And right now, Daryl Morey is at the center of the storm, trying to make a decision that could either elevate the Sixers to title contention or send you back into the purgatory of playoff exits. Now, let's talk about the value of this pick. The third overall selection doesn't come around often, not for teams that expect to win. And that's the conflict. Because while most teams with a top 3 pick are in full rebuild mode, you're not. You've got Joel Embiid. You've got Tyrese Maxey. You've got expectations. And that makes this a rare, tricky situation. Because this pick has rebuild energy, but your roster still screams win now. That's why the trade down temptation is real. Let's say a team like San Antonio or Memphis comes calling. They offer a solid role player, a young prospect, and future firsts. Morey would have to think about it. You would too. Why? Because depth matters. Because injuries happen. Because the Sixers bench has let you down before. And suddenly you're looking at a package deal that could plug 3 holes, instead of taking a home run swing on just one. But don't forget what you give up in that scenario. The chance that golden, rare chance at landing a superstar on a rookie deal. Someone who could eventually take the baton from Embiid. Someone who could grow next to Maxey. Someone who resets the Sixers timeline in one move. That's not something you walk away from lightly. You only do it if you're sure what you're getting in return. And let's be honest, you've seen how many trades go wrong across the league. What if you give up the pick and none of the pieces pan out? And don't even get me started on the pressure. You think Morey's just sitting in a quiet room staring at a whiteboard? No. Phones are ringing. Agents are circling. Owners are weighing in. Every angle is being pulled, twisted, leaked to the press. The media's got one eye on Philadelphia and one finger ready to drop a Woy bomb. You feel that. Tension because you're in it. You're not just watching this unfold, you're living it. What makes it harder is that there's no clear-cut star at the top of this draft. There's no consensus can't miss guy, which means every scout, every insider, every mock draft is different. 1 minute you're seeing names like Reed Shepherd or Ron Holland. The next minute, someone whispers about a European talent flying up the boards. It's chaos. And when things are this uncertain, that's when mistakes get made. That's when people panic. But you're hoping Morey doesn't. Morey's known for being calculated, for being surgical. But this is different. This is emotional. This is about identity. You don't just want a good player. You want the right one, the one that fits your culture, the one that plays hard, defends, can shoot, can think the game, and has the guts to want the moment. You've had too many players who couldn't handle Philly. You want a guy who runs toward the pressure, not from it. And here's the wild part. If the Sixers do trade down, they might actually still land someone impactful. Maybe a stretch four. Maybe a combo guard. Maybe even a defensive-minded big to spell Embiid. But none of those options scream franchise player. So are you okay with that? Are you okay trading away the dream of a star for the security of depth? That's the question Daryl Morey has to ask himself. And that's the question you need to ask too. Because come draft night, the league is going to be watching. Every camera will be pointed at that war room. Every fan base is going to be waiting to pounce. And you'll be watching with your heart in your throat, hoping the Sixers finally make the right call. And you know why it hurts, because you've seen what could have been. You saw Tatum in green. You saw Mikal Bridges traded before he ever put on the jersey. You've lived through every what if, and the idea of getting it wrong again, you can't stomach it. Not this time. Not with this much on the line. But here's what makes it exciting. You also know what it feels like when the Sixers get it right. You remember how you felt when Maxey exploded out of nowhere. You remember that jolt of electricity when Embiid first put the league on notice. You've seen what one draft night can do for an entire city. And if Morey nails this one, it could be a turning point. Not just for the roster, but for everything. So now you're caught in that space between hope and fear, between the thrill of the unknown and the safety of the known. That's what this moment is about. That's what this pick represents. And whether you want to swing big or trade smart, one thing's for sure: you can't ignore it. Because if Morey makes the right move, you're looking at a Sixers team that could finally put it all together. If he doesn't, it's another year of excuses. Another year of waiting. You feel that? That's the weight of potential. That's the burden of possibility. And you, like every other fan in this city, are praying Morey gets it right. And here, you are, still watching, still listening, still hoping. And that tells me one thing: you're not just a Sixers fan. You're part of this team's heartbeat. You ride with them when they're up, and you bleed with them when they fall. So now ask yourself one question, and be real with it: how many more years are you willing to wait? Because let's be honest, you've waited enough. You were there when Embiid sat for 2 whole seasons. You were there when Simmons refused to shoot, when Butler walked, when Horford didn't fit, when the process promised you gold and delivered heartbreak. And yet, you're still here. That's loyalty most fan bases could never understand. So when the Sixers hold the no or 3 pick in their hands, it's not just a selection. It's a chance to get it right. And the crazy thing is, you know, what the right decision feels like even before the analysts tell you. It's that gut punch when the wrong name is called. It's that electricity when someone with fire in their eyes walks up to the stage. And right now, Daryl Morey is staring at that exact moment. You don't envy him, but you expect him to deliver. Because when you've watched years go by without getting past the second round, this moment matters more than ever. Now imagine this. It's draft night. You're sitting on the couch, phone in hand, watching every second. The pick's about to be announced. You know it can go one of 2 ways. Either the Sixers pick a player who makes you believe again, or they trade it all away and leave you wondering, again, what could have been? You hear the commissioner walk up. The card is in his hands. You're frozen. That single moment holds the power to either ignite a championship window or slam it. Shut. And if the wrong call gets made, you'll remember it. Just like you remember the others. But if it's right, if the Sixers get it right, you'll never forget where you were when it happened. And that is what being a fan is about. So, here's your reality. You don't just want a star. You want someone who wants to be in Philly, who wants to fight, who understands the weight of the jersey, who looks at the crowd and hears the boos and says, "Good, I'll shut him up." Because if we've learned anything, it's that talent isn't enough in this city. You need heart. You need grit. You need someone who cares like you do. So now it's up to Morey. You've done your part. You've supported this team through years of almost, through broken promises and bad luck. You've waited. You've believed. And now you deserve a front office that does the same. You deserve a front office that stops settling. That stops playing it safe. That takes this pick and turns it into something real. And listen, no matter what happens on draft night, you're still going to be here. But don't you want to be here for the moment it finally flips? Don't you want to be the first one to know when the Sixers make the move that changes everything? That's why I'm asking you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Because this isn't just news. This is your team's future. And I promise you, every time a trade rumor drops, every time Morey picks up the phone, every time the league whispers about the Sixers, you'll be the first to hear it. Because you don't follow the Sixers. You live this dot. And if you feel like no one covers the Sixers like this raw, emotional, and real, then you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell, and stay with me. Because no matter what happens on draft night, we ride together.